Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be looking at how to create the perfect Amazon product listing. So we're going to be going through a whole bunch of stuff today. Mega content. So if you are interested in this sort of stuff, make sure you are subscribed with them notifications turned on. Let's get into the video straight away. Welcome if you're new here, welcome back. If you're not, my name is Johnny Bradley. I'm founder of the Seller Pro Academy, where we help ordinary people create extraordinary things, just one product at a time. So we've got a new setup today. I have an actual microphone and you can hear me in full quality, I guess. You can hear me in full quality. I'm also quite ill as well, so bear with me on this. So when you're selling on Amazon, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you need to do to make sure it's a success. That starts with your product research, doing your market research, getting it made, getting it imported, and all that sort of good stuff. And you can put a lot of work into that. However, sometimes people put so much work into that they forget about actually listing their product on Amazon and making sure that it will actually convert on Amazon. And there's a few things that you really need to understand. Should I take this call? No, I'm not going to. There's a few things you have to understand. Also, guys, shall I keep using this microphone? I'm starting a podcast. I may have already started it. I don't really know. But yeah, I enjoy the high quality audio. So let me know. Smash a like, smash a comment. So in a second, we're going to jump on the computer. But so there are really kind of four things that we're going to look at today. So it's going to be probably a bit of a lengthy video. Hope you're okay with that. But it's going to be super informative and very helpful for you if you're either listing a product on Amazon, or you're going to do it soon, or you already have products on Amazon and you want to just kind of increase their conversion rates and make more money, make more sales. So the four things we're going to look at is the on-site SEO, we're going to look at reviews, we're going to look at price, and we're going to look at images. These are the things that customers see or not see that have the greatest impact on the ability to make sales, other than the product actually being good and having a good product offer. Like, obviously, we're going to assume that you've already got that, but we want to make the most of actually Seller Central. We want to make the most of your Amazon listing as well. There's something called SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. And in particular, we're looking at something called on-site SEO. And on-site SEO is everything, all the search engine optimizable things that we can do on the website, on site. So in our case, it would be on Amazon. One of those things that we need to do is make sure that we have keywords, or we understand our keywords. So let me just talk to you about the importance of keywords first. They're not just some kind of little thing that you need to be doing as an afterthought. They're one of the most important things on your listing. Think about this, right? Let's say that I'm your friend. We might be friends, but I'm your friend and I'm going to invite you to my house, okay? And you kind of roughly know the location, roughly know the area, and you leave, right? You leave your house, you get in your car, and you start going. However, then when you're saying, hey, Johnny, I need your address, I need your postcode so I can actually get to your house, I then go, I'm not giving you my postcode. You'll just have to figure it out yourself. You'll be like, well, what do you mean you figure it out myself? I need to know where you live so I can actually arrive at your house. And I just go, no, I'm not doing that. It's somewhere in Hertfordshire. It's kind of it's somewhere near Hertfordshire. You'd be like, well, you'd never turn up. You'd never get there because you don't know, you haven't got the information to get to the location. And that's kind of like Amazon, right? I'm seeing if I can make this analogy work. It's kind of like Amazon. If you have a product on Amazon, and you don't have proper keyword research, you don't have on-site SEO, and it's not optimized, it's like you're that person saying, hey, come to my house. I'm not telling you where I live. I'll tell you maybe where I live, somewhere in this area, but I'm not actually going to tell you exactly where I live because I want to make it hard for you. And Amazon's there going, whoa, like just tell me. I want to know so I can send you more customers so we can have a party. Just like that. Let's go with it. At the moment, I'm using something called Helium 10, so I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. Okay, the Helium 10 is pretty cool software, and they have the reason I like using them is because of the process of creating keywords. I find it really good for keywords. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing because we could spend a couple of hours going through keywords. And if you want those sorts of videos, then please do let me know in the old comments and we can create ones that look into these specifically. But I'm going to assume that you've done keyword research. Okay, you might be using things like Magnet or Cerebro to do reverse ASINs. So for anyone that doesn't understand what that means, an ASIN is basically your product, right? So what you can do is you can take the ASIN from another person's product, one of your competitors, and what this will do will find the keywords that they're ranking for and where they're ranking for them on Amazon, so you can see which ones are their most powerful keywords. Really, really cool feature, and definitely something that you need to be doing. After you've collated a list of these kind of most powerful keywords for your listing, then what you can do is go into something called Frankenstein, which is a keyword processor, which is this one here, which kind of takes out duplicates so that you can put them in order in a whole bunch of stuff. And after you've done that, then you want to go into something called scribbles. Okay, so the first three sections with Magnet, Cerebro, and Frankenstein, it will be a longer video, and it's certainly one that I can do. But I've done a whole bunch of keyword research videos. I'll try and throw one up in the old corner if I can, on that corner. So this is one I did earlier. This is for my product. Here it is on Amazon, and you can see here's the title, here's the bullet points. There's no description because it's brand registered. But what I did is I took out the actual keywords and I put them in here, so you can kind of see what I've actually done myself. And we can see how we can prove it as well, because this is by no means the best on-site SEO ever. It could certainly be improved, but I'm going to just go through what's really important to have. Okay, so on the left-hand side, what we've got here is actual Helium 10 have taken the keywords from my keyword processor and they've kind of copied them straight into this area here. And every time I write a word, you see there, it's going to add it and add it in there. So you can see I've used it 4 times. Bottles, okay, I've used that now 2 times. Now with SEO, it's not quite as simple as you want to put the word as many times as possible, because it still needs to make sense, right? At the end of the day, people still need to be able to read it and it makes sense. But what you want to try and do is get as many of your kind of main keywords in as possible. I think this is not in order, but that's fine. For me, for example, then these are really important keywords for me, okay? Like a large sports water bottle. Like water bottle is the biggest one for me. Bottle is a little bit too broad. Things like motivational, reminder, liter, these are very strong keywords for me. So I want to make sure that they're in my title. And what you can do is you can look through your ones here and make sure that you do have them in order of importance. These ones, for some reason, I actually didn't put in order, but that's fine. We're not going to worry about that because I just didn't prepare for the video properly. So if it's leak proof, for example, then, oh no, I haven't got that in my title, so I can add that in, like leak proof, okay? And it's going to add that in and add a little one, so it'll kind of keep up to date with it. Now, the whole thing with this is that you can't go over the number of bytes allowed. A byte is very similar to a character, but it's sometimes you can have a character that is more than 1 byte, okay? So if you have a look at this on the right-hand side, you can see here I have used 201 of 200 bytes, and that's because there is a space at the end of this title. So if I get rid of that, it will now be 200 of 200 bytes, which is 198 characters. So when you're creating your title, which is one of the most powerful places for SEO or SEO, on-site SEO for your Amazon listing, you want to make sure that you have your power keywords in your SEO. You want to make sure that it's also readable, right? It's not complete gibberish. Even though this isn't a fully formed sentence, hydrofuel, and I put a little trademark symbol in there, just adds a little bit of clout, a bit of social proof. Large sports water bottle, 1 liter, with a little dash, free motivational reminder, to hydrate app. Again, doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I can get in the keywords that I want. Hydrate app plus times to drink, custom reminders, leak proof. Now, leak proof could also be 1 word, but I chose to do it as a space. Eco-friendly and BPA free, plus fruit infuser filter for gym and hiking. If I had more keywords, I would add in more things like for cycling, for this, for that. Or I would add in something else, right? One of these things. What I've also done, if you can see here, instead of writing and, I've put a plus or andersand. I've tried to keep the word count as small as possible so you can get as many keywords in as possible. For example, like you could use also comes with, but you don't want to do that because there's a whole bunch of characters that you will use up. You want as many of these words here to be powerful keywords for you. Make sure you don't go over 200 bytes. This is really important because on your Amazon listing, when you go into Seller Central and you actually add these into your edit detail listing page, then if you go over the allotted amount of bytes that you're allowed, then Amazon will not index any of those keywords at all. So if I were to do 201 characters or 201 bytes, so even if I just put a space in there, because I put that space in, I went over 200, Amazon would not look at any of the things that I wrote. Right? It'd be pretty much pointless. And this is really, really important. And you can easily make a mistake here. Even just like then, with having a space in it, it's very easy to make a mistake. So check this stuff. Sometimes these will change as well. So Helium 10, they've gone with basically what the lowest amount is on Amazon in terms of bytes that are allowed, because some categories or some products you may be allowed more, particularly within the bullet points. For me personally, for all of the stuff I sell, then I'm only allowed 100 bytes in my bullet points and 200 in my titles. Okay, so just make sure you're aware of that. Sorry, when you're on your edit detail listing page, you'll be able to hover over the little little eye symbol, and it'll tell you how many bytes that you're allowed specifically for your product. Once you've done that, you can then go on to your bullet points. And what I like to do before you've even started typing out your bullet points, I want you to write them out and put them in order of importance. So not everyone's going to see these, and quite often, your bullet points are just for search engine optimization, for SEO, but people will read them. Some people will read it. So you want to make sure that they're in order of importance for you. Okay. So for me, I wanted quality. I wanted that to be up there because my price is quite a lot higher than other people's. So I want to make sure that I get in there like superior quality, right? And then I get in some kind of buzzwords like tritan copolyester because it makes it sound superior. Okay. For me, I also have an application, which is really important. It's one of the big selling points. It's a reason why a lot of people buy my product. So I want to put that in second. I talk about toxicity, BPA free. People are quite switched on to that sort of stuff. So I want to make sure I tell people that. I want to talk about the actual feel of the bottle, the ergonomic grips, because it's a high quality feel. And then at the end, I always put in a thing about money back guarantee. Now, you have to be quite careful with what you say here. If you can't say like contact us if you have a problem, you can't say that, but just make sure that it's clear that you're trying to build trust. You're saying, hey, look, if it's not right, then just let us know and we'll sort you out. It's really important. If you currently have a listing on Amazon, I want you to go and check to see how many bytes that you're allowed, because Amazon change how many bytes you're allowed in your title, in your bullet points, without notifying you. And this is kind of a bit sneaky. They should really notify you because it affects your optimization. But you might have had 250 bytes allowed when you first created your bullet points. However, now only 100 may be allowed, which potentially means that none of them are being indexed. But it also means that and if you go onto Amazon, tons of people will be over their allowed amounts, like tons and tons and tons. So if you then new to Amazon, or you go and change your listing now, you're going to give yourself a little bit more SEO juice, which means hopefully you can rank a little bit higher on the search page as well, because Amazon know your address, right? They know where to find you. Whereas other people, they're like, oh, kind of not. We know where you live a little bit, but we're not really sure where you live. So that's something you can do today, literally, to help increase conversions. Description. I actually don't have a description because I've got brand registry, but it's exactly the same. You want to make sure that you just plaster the keywords in there whilst also making it a little bit conversational and understandable for a normal person. The other last thing you need to do is search terms. I'm not going to give away my search terms for my actual listing on here, unfortunately. It's something that I'll keep to myself. But the same thing happens, right? You might type in water bottle, okay, or like water, and you see it's trying to autofill them as well, waterproof. And you need to put these in order as well, guys. It's very important to get them in order. 1 liter, and you just keep going through these in order of the search volume. So when you go back to your like keyword research, you'll be able to actually see which ones are being searched the most, and then you can put in order of search. Okay, so that just takes a little bit of time to do. Again, make sure 250 bytes, no more than 250 bytes. Make sure you get your most powerful keywords in there. Some people, Amazon say that you don't need to repeat keywords. So if they're here, then they don't need to be here. Now, whilst I get that, to some element, I don't trust Amazon a huge amount on that, because you just never know. Like, you're never going to know. So I always tend to make sure and just put the really powerful keywords in there anyway, because it can't hurt, right? It can't really hurt. But then you can also maybe add in some keywords a little bit, I guess, different that you don't have in your title or stuff like that. You can always color outside the lines if you want to and test things out. When you are changing your keywords and you're updating your listings, make a change and then monitor it for 2 weeks. Don't make changes and then monitor it for 2 days. And if there's a change in sales, go, oh my God, Eureka, we've done it. Give it time. You need to give it, 2 days or 100 purchases, and just, 2 weeks or 100 purchases just to see, actually, has it been successful? Has the conversion rate gone up, or has it gone down? And then you can make an informed decision, not an emotional decision. Cool. So that's the first thing. That's on-site SEO. Very, very important. And make sure that you are giving Amazon the address to your house so they can get there and have a party. The second thing we're going to talk about is reviews. Now, reviews are something that, again, I think a lot of people just kind of forget. And I don't understand sometimes where someone will launch a product and they've only lined up like 2 people to leave a review and expect to sell out, like, to have loads of products going out the door every single day. And it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. You need reviews. You need reviews like really badly. So the question is, how do you get reviews at the beginning? Okay, so I was speaking with one of the Seller Pro Academy members. His name is Jason. He actually works on my team now, helping me out with a whole bunch of stuff because he's one of my 10K award winners. He's one of my 100K award winners. Launched many products and a good source of knowledge and a great person to help. Right, help me out, right? I was speaking to him and we were talking about launch strategies and we were talking particularly about getting reviews. And I was like, look, let's continue to find more ways to get reviews at the beginning, because that can be quite hard, especially if you don't feel comfortable like asking friends and family and stuff like that. So he used a system leveraging micro influencers. And this is something that we've used in the past, like within the course, to gain sales, right? To use influencers to get more sales. But instead, what he did is adapted it for getting reviews. And I think it's really cool. And it's something that I asked if I could share here. And he's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So what you want to do, okay, of course, get as many reviews as you normally can, but there's a really cool way you can use micro influencers, and that's people with like 10, 15 to 20,000 followers on something like Instagram. What you're going to do is you're going to go into open up Instagram and find micro influencers in your niche, right? So if you're selling microphone stands, then you're going to find people in like the music niche, right? And if you're selling something beauty related, you'll find, people in the beauty niche, and you're going to start, follow them and send them messages. And what you're going to do is you're going to reach out to them and say, hey, we'd love to work with you and send you a product for free if you could do a review for your Instagram and a review for Amazon. And what you'll find is that a lot of these people, because 10 to 15,000, although it sounds like a lot, it's really not a lot on Instagram. And these people certainly won't be being paid for like sponsored posts, so they're happy to get stuff for free as long as it aligns with their brand and what they're trying to promote and what they're trying to put out in the world. So you can reach out to these people, but that's getting one review. So you can get them to buy it, and you can refund them and all that sort of stuff. Get them to buy it and leave a review. And on their Instagram, but also say to them, hey, if you know anyone, if you have any friends that also have, Instagram accounts and they want to get a free product and they want to do a similar thing to us, just, ask them to get in touch with me. This is what Jason did. And what happened was really incredible. He had like 15, 20 people over the space of, a few weeks reaching out to him saying, hey, we'd love to get another product. We'd love to do this, put it on Instagram. We've got, 12,000 followers. You've got 23,000 followers. And we'd love to do that. So he just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and amassed a whole bunch of reviews very, very quickly. And as a byproduct of that is getting a ton of exposure on Instagram, right? From these micro influencers. But when you add them all together, when you add all these people's followers together, it actually becomes quite large. And all you had to do was give away your product for a review. So this is a really, really cool little tip and a little cool way to do it that allows you to not only get reviews, but it allows you to get exposure for free as well, which could be incredible. And at the end of the day, all it takes is just a small percentage of those people that follow these influencers to see and go, actually, I want that as well. And then you start making sales, real sales. And the cool thing is about this is that it is working twofold. You're getting the reviews, but you're also actually getting exposure, which is an incredible combination of two things that you need, right? So I would say that is definitely a cool idea. It works really well. Try and leverage micro influencers to get some more reviews and get some free exposure as well. The third thing we are going to look at is price. Price is so important when you launch a product. So when you're actually creating your product listing, the perfect product listing, at the beginning, you're probably going to want to be competitive and lower your price, which means your PPC is going to work better, your conversion rate is going to work better, your BSR will drop significantly because of those things increasing. I realize that might have got slightly wordy. But you want to be competitive at the start and just understand that later on, you'll be able to increase your price. Normally, the lower your BSR, which your bestseller rank, which means that the higher you are on the search results, normally that means that the higher you can increase your price because you have other things working in your favor. What I would also do is things like testing vouchers, testing promotions, and just find that Goldilocks zone for the launch or for the first month, the first couple of months, or the first shipment, where your price is at a place where you're making money. And even if you can add things like a voucher or not a voucher, a promotion. So every two you put into your basket, you get 10% off your second product. Try these different things. If you have the ability to do subscribe and save, it's that sort of product, then add those on and just see how it works. The whole thing with price is that you need to kind of test it a little bit. Don't change it too much. Don't change the price by like £4 on one day and then change it back up £5, back down £3. Don't do that. Amazon will kind of flag that up, and they may even remove you from the buy box, which is, you definitely don't want that. So just make small changes, 50 pence, £1 or dollar at a time. Monitor the results. Don't act emotionally. See what the results are telling you in terms of your conversion rate on your listing, in terms of how many people visit your page and how many sessions are to how many people buy the actual product, and just let the data tell you what's working best. There will be a Goldilocks zone where you may actually decrease the price, but because of the extra sales that you're making, you're actually making relatively more profit as a total. But as a single product, you might be making less net profit as like percentage based upon one product. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. Okay, so the last thing we want to look at is images, right? Images are so incredibly important because here's the thing, guys, right? There's kind of three magic areas that all play a part when a customer's buying a product. Quite often, if you ask people, like, what do you look at when you go to buy something on Amazon? They'll say, oh, I look at the price, I look at the reviews, or I look at the pictures. Quite often, those are the three answers that you'll get. Okay, so if you have bad pictures, then you've got to make sure your price is more desirable, right? And you have good reviews. If you have bad reviews, then you're going to have really good pictures and probably a more optimized price. If you have a high price, then you've got to make sure that you also have really high quality images and loads of great reviews. So they all work in conjunction with each other. They all work in balance. So a lot of people, they'll focus maybe on reviews, they'll focus on price, but maybe not focus on images. And that means that you're going to have to compensate with your price and with your reviews because the images aren't good enough. So I have something called the functional design formula. It's not something that we can go through today, but I will link a video to it just here. Okay. And it's also covered quite substantially in my book, The One Product Strategy, which you can get for free. Just pay a couple of dollars shipping wherever you are in the world. And that is something where it's what we actually do is try and rip apart attention, right? How do people give attention to your Amazon listings, and how can you create them in a way where you can pull attention to a certain area of the photo so you can communicate exactly what you want to communicate to the customer, so you know that they know that it's a certain quality. You know that the customer is going to know that it has these features because you've communicated it in a really clear and functional way. You need to make sure that they're always high quality. If you think about your product, right, is there a mainstream brand that does a similar thing? Go and look at their website and just have a look if they have a photo taken on an iPhone and that's the thing they're using for their product photos. It's probably not. They probably have high quality 3D renders or high quality photography or models or whatever, because the way something looks and is perceived is directly related to its ability to be successful. Okay, if you have a low quality listing, if you have poor quality photos, then the perception is that it will be poor quality or low quality, which means it has to have a lower price. So if you position your product photos on basically a pedestal with high quality images, that they're functional, that they convert, they communicate in a very, very clear and concise way, then you should be able to create images that dominate on your competition. The other thing with photos is that a lot of people will put them online without ever testing them. Okay. And testing, people think, well, how the hell can you test your images? And I know there's some services out there where you can do this. And I don't like using them, and I'll explain in a second why. But the way that I do it is that you'll get your Amazon listing. Okay. And take your first photo, first of all. Take a screenshot of your Amazon or of Amazon search results and just put your photo into one of the results. What you then want to do is find maybe 10 people, and these can be any people, and just give them the piece of paper or send them the photo and say, which one would you click on? And don't tell them anything. They can't know what your product is, like your individual product, and just say, which one would you click on? And then they show you which one they click on, and just take a note of it. After you've asked a few people, then just collate the results. And if your product is not being clicked on, or most of the time it's not being clicked on, there's something not quite right with that first image, and you can change it, and then you can conduct the experiment again and say, hey, which one would you click on? Right? Keep doing this and keep experimenting. And the reason this works is called something called the law of large numbers, which is the more times, I don't know the exact terminology, but the more times you conduct an experiment, the more likely it is to provide a true result. So if you conduct it once, then, cool. Someone might say, hey, I'll tap your listing, and you'd be like, oh my God, I have the best listing ever. But then if you were to conduct it another 9 times, and that was the only one time that it was clicked, then it's not a good photo anymore. So the more times you repeat the experiment, the more accurate the results will get. And that's what you want to do with the photos. Equally, get the photos up on your phone and ask someone to scroll through them and say, give them like 15 seconds to scroll through it, and then ask them, hey, what did you think of the product? What did it come with? what's unique about it, or, what makes it stand out? And if they don't tell you the things that you want to hear, then your product images haven't done a good job. Now, a good example of this is when I released my hydrofuel bottle. This is before I released it, sorry. I did this exact thing. This is literally what I did. And sorry, the camera cut out. And this is literally what I did. So I sent it over to a few people, and I was saying, hey, what's the main selling point? And people coming back saying it's got this lid, it's got this blah blah blah, it's got whatever, and no one was saying, oh, it comes with an app. I was like, what? Why aren't people? Why? Something's wrong. Like, why don't they get that it comes with? That's like a huge feature that shouldn't be overlooked. And the reason was that the images were in the wrong order. It was just literally as simple as that. So I changed the order of the images. I conducted the experiment one more time, and everything changed, right? Everyone said, oh, it comes with this app, it's about hydration, blah, 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 blah. And it was saying everything that I wanted them to say. So even something simple as the arrangement of your photos can make a huge, huge difference on the perception from the customer's point of view. So you need to test this. You actually need to test it, because otherwise the only testing you're going to get is on Amazon with real customers. And you want to be able to have kind of proven this before you ever actually have to put these images on Amazon. So like I said, guys, make sure that you try and spend a lot of time on your SEO, your reviews, your price, and your images. Because if you get all of these things and you really actually work on them, you just have a lot higher chance of being successful. There's a difference between people that are successful on Amazon and people that are not. And quite often the people that are not, they just go, oh yeah, it's fine, we'll just put it on Amazon and we'll do an okay job, but I've got other stuff to do, so I can't really be bothered. For the people that really, really go above and beyond, or not even above and beyond, they just do the things that you need to do, then they're the people that start making sales. They're the people that start making money. They're the people that start releasing multiple products and create a business out of it. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video so far and it's been informative for you. If it has, then I'd love it if you could smash a little like, leave a comment with any questions you've got. If you do want to know more, then you can get literally everything we've spoken about, except for the reviews thing, is in the One Product Strategy book, which you can pick up for free. I'll cover the cost of the book. You just cover the cost, or cover the cost of the shipping anywhere around the world, and we can get that sent out to your door ASAP. Other little question for you is, what sort of videos do you want to see from the channel going forward? Always looking to create more content, always looking to provide a lot of value to you. So let me know down in the comments and I will see if I can make that happen for you. That's it for today, guys. Make sure you are subscribed with them notifications turned on so you always get notified of future videos. And remember, you're just one product away. Bye-bye.